understand my power now. So let me begin to produce the world I want to see, both literally and figuratively, right? Let me begin to produce that because I can do it. I know how to do it.
You already know. It's the Joe Kingdom perspective.
Welcome to part 1 of our sit down with the d.o.c, a true godfather in the rap game. This episode is brought to you by School of Kingdom. Check out School of Kingdom's Redeeming Halloween Masterclass right now at redeeminghalloween.com.
What in the world is going on, everybody? I'm Dub Alexander, the host of the Joe Kingdom Perspective. This is the podcast that gives you a kingdom perspective from clips from the Joe Rogan Experience. I'm here with the Ryan Pena. What's up, brother?
Hello, hello.
My best friend Joaquin and Duo. What's up, man?
What up, y'all?
We got the Matt G all the way from Stockton, California. What's up, bro?
What's up?
Hey, Stockton.
Let's go.
Yeah. Me and Matt G have been pioneering this Kingdom Reformer thing for a few years now. It's an honor to have you on the show for the first time, man.
Yeah, first time. I'm excited, honored to be with. I mean, this gonna be fire today.
Oh, for sure.
And then to be with the d.o.c. I'm telling you what. I mean, I'm going all the way back to my childhood, sitting here, NWO Shredder, Compton. We were singing straight out of Stockton. That was like our theme. And so this is so cool to be here, be a part of this.
Come on, absolutely. I knew you had that love of hip hop, so I was like, bro,
yeah.
You got to be on the episode with the d.o.c, the legend. Thanks for being here, man.
All love, man. It is all love.
Ooh, come on. So today we're going to be breaking down a little bit from Ice Cube and a little bit from Snoop Dogg. So Lance, let's roll a clip from the latest JRE episode with Ice Cube.
The worst thing an artist can do is to go try to make a hit. You got to make a good song. Damn if it's a hit.
Yeah.
A good song is a good song, whether it's played 1,000 times or once. You know, that's what you focus on, making good music. And whether it's a hit or not, that's in the stars, you know.
Where do you think you got this wisdom to look at things so objectively and clearly?
I think, you know, when I look at how I grew up, like my pops is an independent man, independent thinker. He's not part of any club or any organization or any fraternity or any gang or it's no man that can come and tell him what to do unless he's at work. So I like that. And I saw him stand on his own 2 feet, you know, from he moved to LA when he was 19 years old from Louisiana. And so he's been a man that handled his business from day one. So I think he's the foundation of how I view things, and living and being young, thrown into the fire. You know, it seems like every time I look up, there's something that needs my focus and attention, that's trying to take down what I've built. So I'm always paying attention, you know. I never go in something blind, and I try to understand all the angles before I make a decision.
That's very fortunate you had a father like that.
I am. You know, I thank him all the time for just hanging around. You know, the statistics are what they are. And as men, we gotta raise our kids. You know what I mean? We gotta be there. And as much as we can, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference with the person that you're raising and the person that you're sending out into the world. You know, you want to give your family stability, and fathers can do a lot of that.
They can do a lot of that.
Yeah.
It's got to feel great for you to see your son taking off like this.
Yeah.
Like with the wisdom that you got from your father, that your son is obviously, he's acquired that as well.
Mm-hmm.
That he works hard.
It's great, man. You know, all you want to do is, you want your kids to step up in the moment of truth. You know what I mean? You want them to do what it takes at the time that it's mandatory, or the situation arise that they can step up. Even if it's taking out the trash. Like, you tell your kid, hey, take out the trash. When I get back, I want this done. And when you get back and it's done, you feel better as a parent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You feel like, okay, they stepped up when they needed to, when I asked them to. And it make you feel good that you got people that you're sending out in the world that are dependable and responsible and not trying to fuck over nobody.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. No, that's one of the greatest accomplishments you can make as a human being. You made the world better by raising better people.
Yep. Raise good people. And that's the number one job of a parent, I believe, is to raise a good person, because the world don't need another asshole. Trust me. We don't need another one, man. We got plenty.
Yeah, we got plenty. We're all full. Yeah.
Show.
But it's also great that you set a standard with maybe people that don't even have a father figure. That you set a standard with your words, the way you talk about things and address things and think about things, and you're so thorough that you set a standard with other young kids that admire you too, which is beautiful.
That's good. That's great. And I'm blessed to be in a position to do that. I want to do that. I hope I'm a good example on, I have fun with the music and the entertainment and this and that, but, I want to be a solid person, that say what I mean what I say, and do what I say. And, all you got is your balls and your word, man. That's it.
Tony Montana.
That's all you got.
That's all you got. Yeah. Well, no, you've done it, and you've done it in an amazing way. You set a great standard.
Appreciate it, man. You have too. You are a great communicator. You know what I mean? And people need to hear somebody with courage speak for the people when others are so scared to. Some of the things that you said today, a lot of people would be scared to even bring that stuff up, man.
Well,
so
it's what you said. If you can, you should.
When you got the mic, use it.
Yeah, and I can, so I do. Yeah.
When you got the mic, use it.
Someone has to. This is a wild-ass fucking time.
It is, man. And we need people to step up that we trust. We don't need no more people to let us down that we believe in,
Absolutely.
Are you tired of fear-based religious mindsets surrounding the Halloween season? Listen, my friends, the devil is a chump, an unemployed cherub seeking employment in your thoughts. He doesn't own anything, much less an actual day on the calendar. Yes, he was referred to as the ruler of this world before the cross, but simply the prince of the air afterwards. Talk about a demotion. Want to hear more? Then let me invite you to join School of Kingdom's exclusive online equipping event of the fall, Redeeming Halloween. 4 powerful nights, 4 revelatory professors, 4 intriguing topics, namely the kingdom of darkness, witchcraft and the occult, demonic oppression and deliverance, and last but not least, the cloud of witnesses. Register now to gain a fear-free kingdom perspective on this Halloween season at redeeminghalloween.com. Catching this episode way late? Have no fear, you can still purchase limited replay access to these teachings at redeeminghalloween.com. See you soon. This special celebrity edition episode of the Joe Kingdom Perspective is brought to you by School of Kingdom, the premier online school for detoxing religion and establishing a solid kingdom theology.
Come on. So the reason I picked this clip is because I know that I'm sitting here with some of the greatest fathers that I know. And if you missed the last episode that we just did with d.o.c. and Head, and man, just the passion that you showed when you were talking about, when we hear the phrase, like, if you just get one, and you were like, that's cute, but man, I want all of them. And that's that heart that you have for a generation. And I just want to hear more about that and what it is that you're doing to reach a generation, to pull them out of the broken mindset that causes them to do violence to each other and to not see the value in each other. And just talk about how you're showing up as a father to a generation in that space and the solutions that you're bringing.
Well, first of all, I want to. I gotta let you know how much I love and respect you as a human being and a dad, and a great man. He's really a standout person. Always has been. Him and Snoop both.
Yeah.
And I know that. I remember when I first went to California and Dre picked me up from the airport when I first got there. The day I got there, we went to Cube's house, who stayed up the street from Dre at the time, and Cube wasn't there. I think he was still debating on whether or not to stay in college. I think he was going to school in Arizona at the time. And they had been making music, but it hadn't exploded yet. And I think his parents were like, hey, we liked him, he's cool, but, and so when I went to his house and met his mom and his father, you could see, that he got an old school dad, like back when families were one and raised their children. What we've gotten, I saw a picture on the internet of black families, the family of the copper-colored family, if you will, right, of the 50s and 60s and them today. And of course the 50s look like you would think, dressed in those that apparel and look real happy days-ish, but the mommy and daddy, June Cleaver, looking, and the dad and the 2.1 children, and at the bottom picture, the reflection was a single mother and 3 or 4 kids. And I think what the thing was trying to do was show us the black family then and now. Now let me take you back to what I said earlier about marketing, because I'm almost positive, because I'm an example, is that family that they're showing you that portrait of that existed in the 50s and 60s, they're out there today.
Come on.
But that's not what's being marketed today.
Wow.
What's being marketed today is that single black lady with them kids. That's purposeful. Everything has a purpose, bro.
Yeah.
You have to be wise enough to understand. And so, going back to that, what I'm trying to do with these babies, there's a school in South Dallas that I'm trying to help this lady rebuild, named St. Anthony's, in the inner city, top 10 kindergarten to 8th grade, top 10 school in the state.
Wow.
Okay? But it's in a little shoebox. It's just amazing how these people can exist in the digs that they're in. Water's leaking into everything, and you can't do this, and if everything's working at the same time, this can't work, and just and the young girls basketball team thing. City champions for 24 straight years.
Oh my gosh.
Never lose, And so what I'm going to do is this season, I'm going to get some cameras and go follow these babies through their whole season. I know at some point it's going to be for something and mean something later on, but the reason I'm creating it is so that I could show them through what I do for a living how their worth, how important they are, how amazing their life is, and show the rest of the world that this is what's going on. Let me exchange that picture that they're using to promote with the picture of this team of young scholars in the 7th and 8th grade who haven't lost a game in 20 years.
Let's go.
Let me start promoting. And I tell folks, that I understand my power now. So let me begin to produce the world I want to see, both literally and figuratively, right? Let me begin to produce that because I can do it. I know how to do it.
Man, I was actually feeling that when you were speaking about that earlier, because, we talk about, our body, like, everything's in the spirit, right? But the body, our vessel here, is the only way things can be manifest. So we need to take what Father is showing us in the spirit, but we got to manifest it here. And what you're talking about is manifesting that. I'm going to produce. Like, I can produce a sound, but man, I want to produce more than just sound. I want to manifest something. So man, I honor you for that, man. That's
Somebody
awesome.
produced this building that we're sitting in. Somebody had to sit and think, you know what? I want the building to be like this. I want it to do like that. And they went through all of their steps, and now we're sitting in this grand space saying, look what God did. And so I want to do that to people,
Come on.
I want to do that to not a side of town. I want to do that to the town.
Yeah.
If I could do it to the town, I could do it to the state.
Come on.
If I could do it to the state, I could
Let's
do
go.
it to the country.
Let's
If I could
go.
do it to the country, then I could do it to the world.
Come on.
Let's freaking go. God. Ryan, restoration of the image, man.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
I knew you were. I heard you.
It 9 times in Genesis, God says that everything must produce according to its own kind. Genesis 1, just in Genesis 1, everything must produce according to its own kind. And he said every seed will produce according to its own kind. Every tree will produce according to its own kind. And so the question is, if God is saying everything must produce according to its own kind, the question is, did God produce according to his own kind? And the answer is yes.
Absolutely.
Let's
It's
go.
humanity.
Let's go.
And so he puts his image, right? He puts his image and likeness into humanity. And and this is what I believe Holy Spirit, the revelation Holy Spirit is consistently bringing to us, is this is the image of God in your life. Because what we know, according to Romans 1, is that image was exchanged for a lie. And then Jesus says, I've come to seek and save that which was lost. Singular. Not plural, singular. And so when the image was lost, every social crisis known to man, racism, hatred, poverty, war, selfishness, bitterness, competition, all of that begins to manifest in the earth, right? Every broken system that we know of today originated at that fall. And so the question would be, if you could do one thing to restore from all that brokenness, if you could do one thing to bring restoration in society, to bring restoration to a school, to a community, what would it be? Will it be restore the image in humanity? Because what we see in Genesis is when he says, like, be fruitful, multiply, have dominion, all of those are effects of the image.
Yeah.
In other words, the effects of God. The image will produce for you what it produces for God. And that's why he gives his image to humanity. And so Jesus comes to restore the image of God, knowing if the image is restored, then all of the effects will be restored. And so there needs to be somebody that begins to, I would say, manifest a model of what can this look like? What you're talking about. Somebody with the image of God that says, I'm going to produce the effects of God in the earth, and I'm going to show you what's possible in this school and in this city and in this community. Why? Because the image will produce the effects of God in the earth, right?
Come on.
So I just love it because and when that word image there, it was actually used in ancient times for an actual like statue that would have been set up so that people would remember what the actual king's image looked like. You're actually established in the earth to remind people of the image of the king that they are actually created in.
Come on.
Right? So that they can manifest what is in the king's heart. Because that's really what's happening here.
Absolutely.
You caught a vision of
No
what's in the
question.
king's heart.
No question.
And you're like, man, these kids are way more valuable than what society has told them. And I see that value. And you're like, I'm going to leverage the influence and the platform God's given me. I'm going to use the image to produce the effects of God in these kids and in these schools and beyond.
Come on.
It's kingdom. It's all kingdom, man. It's amazing.
You know,
That's what it's for.
it reminded me back in the 80s, they had that Sprite commercial, right, with Grant Hill. And it would be, image is nothing, thirst is everything, right?
Yeah.
Obey your thirst. And the church has kind of taken that. We've gotten thirsty, and really thirsty for wrong reasons, right? We're thirsty. And we've made thirst the actual expression rather than image. Because in the kingdom, image is everything.
Yeah.
And you can't get that. And I love what you're doing, because the fact is, you know, you can't separate image without having imagination.
Right.
And the greatest nation in the world is an imagination.
Let's go.
Right? It's a design studio where we create. And what you're doing, the ability to be able to take what's in your imagination and produce and just begin to reflect that image to these youngsters and showing them that there is a way. I mean, I know we're talking about Cube. One of the most fascinating things for me when thinking about Ice Cube was when he did the movie Are We There Yet? Right? He went from this, like, you know, known gangster rapper to like, hey, now he's projecting
Household
father.
name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on screen, and he's given hope. Oh, so that's what a father looks like?
Come on.
Because right now what's happening in our nation, I'm so passionate about this too, is that we need fathers, because right, fathers add value. Right? So that means if there's a father in the room, value goes up.
Let's go.
Right? So value's going to go up if there's a father in the room. And on top of that, if you think about it, what's the role of a father? Well, a father, he helps bring worthiness, identity, image. He forms that within the family. And what's so huge about that, and I love what you're doing. I mean, I'm like, I'm about to take a run around this building right now. I'm getting stirred, right? Is the fact that right now in America, when you separate the father out of the family, right, or you just break the family structure up, what is happening now is what I'm seeing with these young men, because I'm teaching now, right? I'm teaching these kids, and I'm learning that society has erased the rite of passage. I've asked these young men, when do you know you become a man? And now it's hard. They can't even answer that. Because when you take the father out, right? And whether you had a father in your family or there's a father figure, right? There's that rite of passage. Every culture, you study culture, every culture had a rite of passage. It was a rite of maturity. Even in Christianity, we had a rite of passage. And what's happening in America right now is that we've lost the rite of passage, because we've separated the family structure, we separated the father. And what you're doing in coming, you're not only bringing, you know, image through your imagination and through your influence, but I also believe you're showing these young people, especially the young men, hey, there's a rite of passage. This is when you know you're a man. I mean, that is just...
Come on. So good.
I hope you enjoyed this episode with the d.o.c. For part 2, make sure you tune in next week. We'll be back.
You already know. It's the Joe Kingdom perspective.